Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having an amazing day. So today I'm going to show you every single book that I read in 2021. It wasn't a lot compared to other people. I read in total 27 books in 2021. But for me, that's really good. So yeah, I'm going to show you and talk to you about the books and my opinions, and you know, I'm gonna use my Goodreads to guide me because I don't remember a lot of things about some of these books. So I read, as I said, 27 books in 2021. That's a total of 10,955 pages, which is really good, I think. At least for me. I think this was actually my best year in reading. I've always been a reader, like there was never a point in my life where I wasn't. But yeah, my average book length in 2021 was 405 pages. That's actually really good. My average rating for 2021 was 4.5 stars. I am not like I don't consider myself very judgy when it comes to books. It's very easy for me to love a book enough to give it 5 or 4 stars. I think I've never given a book 1 star because I think no book deserves that. At least from the ones that I read. And yeah, I've given like very few books 2 stars and a few books 3 stars. But I think most of the books that I read, I give either 4 or 5 stars. So let's go to like the actual video. So the first book I read in 2021, I was about to say 2022. So the first book I read in 2021 was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by you-know-who. I'm not going to say her name because I don't like her. This was a reread. I read this like 4 or 5 times, I'm not sure. And this was, so yeah, this was like a reread for like the 4th or 5th time. I have no idea. Yeah, I love this book. This series is my absolute favorite, so I will always reread it. Then I read Always and Forever Lara Jean by Jenny Han. I absolutely loved this book. It was a 5 stars. This is the 3rd book in the To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy. I love this trilogy so much, and I love this book so much. But yeah, I love this trilogy. I love Lara Jean. I love Peter Kay. Oh, I just love it so much. I remember I cried reading that book. I laughed. I had a lot of feelings. Then I reread for the 2nd time The Undercover Princess by Connie. This is the first book in the Rosewood Chronicles. I love this book. It was so freaking good. I think this is considered middle grade, but I just love it so much. So my camera died, so I'm sorry for the change of angle. But yeah, let's continue. So the next book that I read was this selection by Kiera. This is the first book in the selection series. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I actually, as I said, I was in high school in the beginning of 2021. I'm not in college. But I was in high school and we had this presentation to do for a class, and we had to choose a book, any book that we wanted, and I ended up choosing the selection. So yeah, I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. It was really good. As I said, strong 4 stars. Then I read for the first time to Princess in Practice, which is the 2nd book in the Rosewood Chronicles by Connie. I love this book even more than the first one, and the first one was 5 stars, so I instantly gave this one a 5 stars. The beginning of this year was like mostly 5 stars because it was mostly rereads, but still this one wasn't a reread and it was a 5 stars because I loved it so much. And I'm not gonna give away any spoilers by saying anything really, but I just loved it. I loved it so much. There's you know, like the first book, there's princesses, there's drama, there's like, I think I would consider this a love triangle, and it has LGBT representation and this is like a middle grade book, so I think that's freaking amazing. So then I made a reread of a book that I haven't read since I was like 12, and I know that this book is like it has like very controversial opinions because you either love it or you hate it, and there's a lot of people who love it and a lot of people who hate it, and I'm totally fine with either opinion. I reread Twilight, the first book in the Twilight series. Obviously this is actually the edition that comes with Life and Death too, but I haven't read Life and Death yet. I was planning on reading it this year, but I ended up not reading it, so yeah, I read Twilight. I don't, and because it's a reread, it's also 5 stars. I'm pretty sure I only reread books that I get for 5 stars. At least this year I only did that. Then I reread New Moon, which is the second book in the Twilight series. Again, I don't really have to say anything else. Also 5 stars. And I also haven't read it since I was like 12 or 13, I'm not sure. Then I reread Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, which is book number 6 in the Harry Potter series. And yeah, also 5 stars. Don't really have to say anything about it either. Then I reread City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Mortal Instruments series. This is the Portuguese edition, so and for some reason the covers of the first and second book are switched. Like the English version has this as the cover of the first book, so yeah, but this is the second one. This is City of Ashes. And then I read for the first time City of Glass by Cassandra Clare, which is the third book. I reread that one because I haven't read it since I think 2019, and I wanted to read this one and I wanted to like remember details from that one, so I reread it, which is also a 5 stars, by the way. I love that book. Also love this one, also 5 stars. Loved it. It's great. Really recommend the series. I haven't read the rest of the series and I really want to. I don't know why I haven't yet because I absolutely love it. All of them so far are 5 stars for me. Then I read for the first time, I'm gonna stop saying I read for the first time and just start saying I read it, and if it's a reread I'm gonna let you know, but if I don't say it's a reread, it's because it's not. I read The Lost Princess by Connie, which is the third book in the Rosewood Chronicles. I also loved this book. It was freaking amazing. This book isn't set in the usual place of the other books. It was set in Japan and with the same characters still. Obviously it's part of the series. So yeah, I haven't read the 4th book in the series and the 5th hasn't come out yet, but it's coming out this year and I'm so excited. Then I made a reread of Eclipse, the 3rd book in the Twilight series, and yeah, again, don't have to say anything about it. Then I read The Maze Runner, which I actually bought the 3 first Maze Runner books used on Depop. because I've wanted to read this series for a really long time. I watched the first movie like a really long time ago, so I didn't remember anything besides Dylan O'Brien. So yeah, this is the first in the Maze Runner series. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, but the actual rating was 4.5. I just didn't round it up. I really like this book, and I actually think Teresa, which is the only woman on this book, she was very well written in my opinion, which is usually not what happens when men write women. But yeah. Then I read Shadow and Bone, which, oh my god, it became one of my favorite books. I haven't read the rest of the trilogy or Six of Crows, and people say Six of Crows is so much better than Shadow and Bone, so I'm actually terrified of reading Six of Crows for many reasons. It's because I'm scared I'm not gonna like it as much, even though I probably will, because like everyone literally says it's better than Shadow and Bone, and I gave 5 stars to Shadow and Bone. This is part of like the Grishaverse that includes the Shadow and Bone trilogy, the Six of Crows duology, and the King of Scars duology. I think that's the name of the duology. I'm sorry if it's a different name. And the Grishaverse has a TV show on Netflix that is called Shadow and Bone, and I loved the first season. I'm so excited for season 2. This book, oh my god, I'm so excited with the next 2 books. I can't wait to have them. I was planning on getting them this year and reading them this year, but I couldn't, so yeah, maybe this year. Also, how gorgeous is this edition? This is the collector's edition. It says like calls to like on here, and it's just so pretty. I'm so obsessed with it. And the blue sprayed edges, so pretty. It became one of my favorite books, and it's on my favorites tag. I have a favorites tag on Goodreads, and that's on there. The next book I read was Today, Tonight, Tomorrow by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I absolutely adored this book. This is a romance, rivals to lovers. It became my favorite romance book. Absolutely love it. Later in the year, I won a giveaway from the author. When the paperback edition came out, I won a signed book by the author. She wrote for Mariana two endings, and then she crossed endings and put beginnings and then signed it. It's absolutely adorable. And if you get the paperback edition, you get in the end, you get the beginning of Today, Tonight, Tomorrow from Neil's point of view, which is the main male character. Yeah, so I love the hardback edition. It even, like, the inside has like a little bench on it. It's super adorable. But yeah, if you want some extra content, you should get the paperback edition. Hardback is my favorite format of books, so yeah, love it. And I actually haven't read more books from this author, but I really want to. And when the author sent me the signed book, she also sent me one artwork and 3 postcards from Seattle, and this book is all just like set in Seattle, and I absolutely love it. It made me want to visit Seattle so much. I just really cannot recommend this book enough. I love it so much. And it has a Jewish representation, by the way, which I think it's really important. The next book I read was The Short Second Life of Bree Turner. If you read Eclipse, this is an Eclipse novella, so it's like, it's a really tiny book. And it basically talks about Bree Turner, which is a character on Eclipse, a very small character, but she's basically one of the newborns. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it, but if you read Eclipse, you know her ending, and also the title like basically says it. It's a short second life. That means she turns into a vampire and then yeah. I really liked it. I remember when I was 12, I really loved it. I gave it a 5 stars when I got Goodreads, which was in 2018 or 2019, I'm not sure, because I remember really loving it when I was 12, so I gave it a 5 stars, but this time I changed it to 4. Then I read Paper Towns by John Green. I didn't like love it, but also didn't hate it. It was a 3 stars for me, a very average book. And I also bought it used, that's why there's like, the pages are kind of yellow. I bought it used on Depop. Then the next book I read was The Hunger Games. I read it for the first time and I absolutely loved it. 5 stars for me. Yeah, I don't even own the next books, but I really want to, and I can't wait to read the rest of the books. I actually haven't watched the movie. Same with Paper Towns. I know Paper Towns has a movie, but I haven't watched it. But now I really want to watch the movie, at least for the first book, because I haven't read the rest of the books, so I'll wait for those ones. But the first movie, I really want to watch it. Then I went on summer vacation and I read 2 books while I was on vacation. The first one was this, which is Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Sample. I didn't really enjoy this book, honestly. It was a very cool concept and I was really excited to read it. I also bought it used, so I'm really glad I bought it used because I didn't really like it. It was a 2 stars for me. It was not the worst book I've read, not even close. I was actually like, as I said, I never gave 1 star to a book, and the book I hated the most, I was actually, because I gave this one 2 stars, I was actually considering changing the rating of the book I hated to 1 star, but I ended up not. But I actually think the actual rating of this book I gave 2.5 stars, but I didn't round it up on Goodreads, so I just put 2 stars. Then also on vacation, I read You Have a Match by Emma Lord. I absolutely loved this book. It was so cute. I can't wait to read more from Emma Lord. I also added this one to my favorites tag. I think the only books I added to this tag this year were Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, Shadow and Bone, and this one. I think, I'm not sure. I accidentally skipped a book when I was telling you about them. I read Balthazar and Bermuda for school. After I read The Lost Princess from the Rosewood Chronicles, I didn't really like it, to be honest, but I still gave it 3 stars. But the author had like a Nobel in literature, so again, it was just not for me, but maybe it's for other people. I don't know. Then I reread Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Don't have to say anything. 5 stars, you know. Then when I started college, I wanted something, I wanted to read a book that had a setting in college or something. I don't know. So I went for the obvious one, which I had already read before and I knew I loved it. Fangirl by Rowell. I love this book. This was my second time reading it. The first time I read it was in, I think it was last year actually. But yeah, I really love it. It has a college setting, and yeah. Then I read the Scorch Trials, which is the second book in the Maze Runner series. Yeah, I also gave it 4 stars, but the other one was 4.5. This one was actually 4 because I liked it a little bit less. But it was still very interesting. Then I read The Elite, which is the second book in the Selection series, and The One, which is the third book in the Selection series. This one I also gave 4 stars like the first one, even though I liked it a little bit less. I think I gave it actually 3.5, but I rounded up to 4. This book though, so far it was my favorite in the series. Absolutely loved it. I cried so much, and yeah, I loved it. And the final book I finished in 2021 was In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle. I gave this one 3 stars. I had mixed feelings about it, but yeah, there were some things I loved about this book, like the New York City setting, and yeah, that's pretty much no, but I really liked most of the book. I didn't like the ending. Some people do, but I think most people do, but I didn't. It was not for me. So that was the last book I finished in 2021. I started reading rereading Breaking Dawn, which is the 4th book in the Twilight series, but I didn't finish it in 2021, so it doesn't count. But yeah, so those were all the books I read in 2021. Oh, by the way, my reading challenge, I nailed it. My goal was 15 books and I read 27. That's really great for me. So yeah, this in 2022 it will be 25 books because I'm not sure if I'm gonna read as much as I read in 2021. But yeah, I really want to make more book related content on YouTube, so if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and like this video, and I hope to see you in my next video. Mwah!